morning. It is Thursday, March 19th, and here's your warm-up for today. We're asked to write the equation of the exponential function through the points 0, 100, and 4.16, or 1600ths. So first thing we notice is that we are given the a value in this case. The y-intercept is 0, a. So my function is going to be y equals 100 times b to the x power. And we're going to use this other point, 4, 0.16, to determine my b value. So I'm going to use my x and y values from the second point and plug them in. 0.16 is y, 4 is x. And we're going to solve this equation algebraically by dividing 100 on both sides. Point 0.0016 equals b to the fourth. And then we will take the fourth root on both sides. The fourth root will cancel the fourth power on the right-hand side. And b is going to be equal to the fourth root of 0.0016. And as a reminder, the fourth root, we have to enter 4 first, and then hit math, scroll down to number 5. The calculator substitutes 4 for x, and in other words, finds the fourth root of 0.0016, or 0.2. So my exponential function is y equals 100 times 0.2 to the x power. Final answer. Being nitpicky. All right, next one. We are asked to write the equation of the exponential function given the information in a table. And you'll notice that I gave myself some space here. I see that I only have values starting at x equals 2, 3, 4. So I'm going to fill in my table when x is equal 1 and when x is equal to 0 in order to determine what my initial value is going to be here, what my a value is. So I look at the values that I'm given, 24.883, 20.736, and I'm figuring out how did these values change. So I'm going to divide 24.883 by 20.736, and that gives me a factor of 1.199999. I'm going to go ahead and assume that this is 1.2. I'm going to round here to 1.2. And just to double check, I'm going to do that same thing from 20.736 to 17.28. 20.736 divided by 17.28, and it is exactly 1.2. So my growth rate in this case is 1.2. So even though we divided in order to fill in our table, remember that as x's increases, the y's increase. This is depicting growth. It's a little confusing because we have to work backwards to fill in our table, but then work frontwards to actually determine what your growth factor is, and it's in this case 1.2. So to fill in my table here, I'm going to start with 17.28, and I'm going to divide by 1.2 to get that next value, 14.4. And then divide by 1.2 again to get my last value, 12. Okay, so my exponential function is y equals 12 times 1.2 to the x power. And if you'd like to double check, just choose a set of values and plug them in. Let's do 4. So I'm going to do 12 times 1.2 to the fourth power, and if I get 24.883, I did it right. 24.8832. So remember we rounded that one, so it's a little bit off on that decimal point. I'm assuming they rounded when they got the information here. Okay. All right, guys, there's your warm-up. Next is your notes.